I have the pleasure of introducing this year's staff speaker. Every year, the senior class selects a member of the faculty of Greenville High School to be the featured speaker at Senior Send-Off. As the senior class prepares for their life journey after high school, they ask this teacher to share a few inspirational words with them and with the student body. I am told that in the science department, he is referred to as the favorite. This year's staff speaker is Mr. Mike Koenig. Catch my breath. So we'll do the crap anymore. Oh! All right, Bennett. Can you guys hear me okay? Sure. We're good? Okay. First I want to say thank you very much. My understanding is it was a landslide vote. I don't know what that means, but if you guys think I'm the best one to give the advice, then here we go. I did some numbers. I looked at your class roster, and I think I've had 54% of this class go through my door. So I've gotten to know most of you pretty well. I know most of the faces out here. So I'm going to start this with a little question and answer session. This is something one of our speakers at my graduation back in 1999 did for us. So I want to kind of a show of hands. This is for the senior class. How many of you are glad to be here? By show of hands, glad to be here. Like, this is one of your last times in this gymnasium, so. All right, let's see, next. How many of you never thought you would be here? Let's see here, number 3, high five. How many of you know exactly what you're going to be doing after high school? It's pretty impressive. All right. A forward-looking group. How many of you have no idea what you're going to do after high school? Okay, that's all right. That's all right. All right, last question. How many of you are like way more nervous than I am right now, or scared of what's coming after high school? That's okay. That's actually a good thing. You should be. You have 8 days and about 6 hours until graduation. So be nervous. It's okay. I was not really scared to death. I was the kid that when I left my high school, I literally didn't look back. I mean, I remember getting in my car and driving away from the building, like with a sigh of relief on my face because I knew it was finally done. I've been back a couple times, but I don't regret high school, but then again, at the same time, I don't miss high school. So I get to spend every day with people like you and hope give a chance to teach you something. So because I'm not a great speech writer, I had my 3 children, who some of you know. You guys haven't met the nice lady in the back. She's spot on. I have 3 kids. My youngest is 8. She's a little girl. My boy is 10, and the oldest is going to be 13 next month. So we were sitting down at dinner the other night, and I'm like trying to cram together a speech, advice for you guys. I'm like, well, what would you guys tell the senior graduating class? What advice would you give them? So this is for my 8-year-old. Now, she's a little more tech savvy than I am, so she stole these quotes off the interwebs. Like I'm sure none of you did for any report you ever did in high school. So this is what my 8-year-old wants you guys to know. The first one says, there's 2 quotes, says, find your voice and use it often. Rarely have I regretted speaking up about something. And if you've ever met my youngest daughter, she's very loud all the time. The second thing she wants you to know, be the most confident version of yourself possible, and it will pay off. I think those are pretty, telling from an 8-year-old. I think that's pretty good advice. I can still use some of that. Now, my older 2 are a little more like me when it comes to their sense of humor. So, here's my son. He's 10. Do not smoke. Oh, it gets better. Don't be dumb. Don't murder. Be nice. See here. That's all he had. Now, the oldest one, she's got a little bit longer list. So, number 1, this is from a almost 13 going on 21-year-old. Don't do drugs. Never lie to your doctor. Don't become a psychopath. I have nothing to do with any one of these. This one's picking on me. When in doubt, mumble. I've heard that when I get excited, I mumble. This is gross. Never change diapers in midstream. As you graduate, don't forget who got you here. Google, Wikipedia, coffee. Don't become obsessed with a celebrity. Take a vacation away from your phone, laptop, and TV. I think that's good advice. Become a grumpy old person that tells people get off your lawn. And this last one, if being attacked, turn face to the person and make the weirdest face and noise in the world. What she had. So, you see my kids, congratulate them. They're better speechwriters than I am. When I graduated, I moved to Akron for 3 years. I went to Edison for 2 years. So those of you that are doing that, that's a really, really smart move. Get at least the first 2 years paid for. If you haven't done that, not a bad place to start. Let's just forget that I teach there as well. But my parents gave me a little bit of advice. I still remember my first day on Akron's campus, and I'm like a little kid from the middle of nowhere. I'm not used to big crowds and a lot of people, and I grew up with no neighbors at all. So I'm moving into Akron, and my dad just looks at me and he goes, just don't trust anybody. And it's kind of worked out for me so far. Those of you that have me in class know that I'm skeptical of just about everything that comes my way, and maybe I've taught some of you that. But my dad's kind of the same way, and I think that's what he was trying to instill in me, was just question things. Don't take things just because somebody said you should do it. Think about it first. That's probably really, really, really important. And then probably what means more to me is what my mom told me. She said, do what makes you happy, not what makes you money. Those of you that have been in the school for several years know that you've got a lot of great teachers here. None of us are doing this because we're getting filthy rich doing it, that's for sure. Most of us are probably here because this is what makes us happy. It's a long road for all of us. It's going to be a long road for all of you guys. It's not going to be quick. Get anywhere you want to go. It's going to get harder. It might get easier for a while. But you stick to it and just kind of get lost in what you love. That's really what I want to try to tell you guys myself. You all know that I'm a rock nerd, I'm a fossil nerd. For the parents that don't know me, I'm the rock guy here at the high school. Even if people don't get what you do for a living, it's okay. You just go do it, and everything's going to work out. And then kind of another thing I want to kind of tell you, I'm going to show you a little video here. Never stop questioning things. Always be curious. Always try to learn something new. Don't hold back your own thoughts just because you're afraid of the outcome. Investigate new things. Take as many classes as you can. Go to whatever school you're going to go to, or take whatever job you can get to pay your bills, but don't tell yourself no too often. Take those chances to get out and try to do new things. It's impossible to predict today and tomorrow how you're going to use what you learned today. So try to learn as much as you can. I do want to show you something. You guys can get that video pulled up. This is probably the best advice I've ever gotten myself, and it doesn't come from anybody I've ever met. This guy that's in this video, his name is Carl Sagan. He's an astronomer. Died several years ago. He was a very, very important man as far as NASA is concerned. In 1990, February 14th, 1990, so Valentine's Day, the Voyager 1 space probe, which was sent out in the late 70s, it's finally actually exited our solar system now, so a little bit of science history for all of you. In 1990, it went past the orbit of Jupiter, and because Carl Sagan was a pretty important guy, he asked NASA to turn it around and take a picture of Earth from Jupiter. And I thought it was really neat what he says. This comes out of a book he wrote called The Pale Blue Dot. It was published in 1994. So this is about 2 or 3 minutes of just kind of him talking about this. I want you guys to take a listen to this, and I got one.
That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known.
So I always like that because it kind of puts everything in perspective. I'm very much a big picture kind of person. I don't try to get lost in the woods. I like to see the whole forest kind of thing. And I always like trying to put things in perspective for students. So if there's one thing I can kind of leave you with is be good to each other. Remember, it's not about you, it's about everybody. If you can make your life about other people, I think you'll be very happy. It doesn't matter if you end up rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you got a great job or a bad job. Sorry, nerves. I really do think that you're going to have a really happy life if you can do just that. So when I was in high school, I went to a Catholic high school, so we got blessings for everything. I'm not giving you a religious blessing here, but I made it my own because I'm a nerd, and you know, why not? And obviously, some of you probably know where this is going. May your paths be laden with the most polished granite. May your journey be as rich and varied as the fossil record. May your days be as warm and sunny as the Mesozoic era. And may you, like our Paleolithic ancestors, never be afraid to leave home and discover new things. Thank you very much. Make sure to compliment Well Kumran's new haircut.